Hi everyone, it's Andy Tech with Check New Tech, and today I'm going to be talking about the Samsung Galaxy S21. It was just released for pre-order about 2 weeks ago, and it's officially shipping out in the next day or two. You might have already received it if you did a pre-order, but I'm going to be talking about whether it's actually worth the upgrade or not. So in the industry, Samsung's always been a leader. They're on their third generation of 5G phones. They started with the S10 flagship series, then they went to the S20, and now they just debuted the S21. It comes in three variants, the S21, the S21 Plus, and the S21 Ultra. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be talking about the S21 because there's a lot of promos and deals on getting this phone for a highly discounted price, but is it really worth the upgrade? I looked at a lot of 5G devices and I played with some, and I own several flagship devices. However, with Samsung, I was not as impressed as I thought I would be. On the surface, it looks amazing. A lot of the things that they advertise and market with the cameras and the space zoom look really nice, but I realized the more I dug deeper into the S21, I wasn't as impressed as I thought. For starters, the S21 has a polycarbonate back. That means it's plastic. It's a fancy way of saying plastic. Samsung's always done a great job with putting glass on the front and back of its flagship devices, and sure, it might crack more easily and it might be harder to maintain, but having a plastic back on a flagship device just screams cheap to me. The colors look really nice, but it just doesn't feel as nice as having a glass back. And if you put a screen protector and a case on it, you definitely want to have the premium quality of the phone. So I was a little bit disappointed in how they skimped with that. The second thing that really disappointed me with the Samsung S21 was they didn't really make any changes from the S20 camera quality. When you take pictures, you could look at the specifics and the technology that they're using, but it's pretty much the same as the S20. So if you didn't really make any real improvements, you're not going to get any real advantage in that. The space zoom only pertains to the Ultra series, and that's several $100s more than the $800 Samsung S21. When it comes to 5G technology, they're pretty much using the same radios in the S20, except they're using a faster processor chip. So if processor speed is all you care about, the S21 might be good, but the only issue with that is that you can't really take advantage of the apps today that would be using that speed. And a lot of the older processors, the Snapdragon 865 series, is just as fast for a lot of the same games and a lot of the multitasking you may do. To take things even one step further, Samsung actually decreased the amount of memory they put in the S21. They went from 12 gigs in the S20 flagship to 8 gigs of RAM in the S21. It's a little disappointing if you plan on doing a lot of multitasking or have a lot of apps open. Even though the Snapdragon 888 series is about 21% faster than the previous generation 865 in the S20, it still doesn't make up for the fact that they decreased the amount of RAM. That's just not cool when you're trying to release a flagship phone. So here's the final backbreaker when it comes to why I chose to skip out on the S21, and that is the lack of SD card expansion storage. This is huge for me because Samsung's only made this mistake twice, but they've done it before and it's cost them. And this was when they made the S6 series. And I had the S6 Plus 64 gig edition that I had to pay over $100 more to get the 64 gig. And this was back in 2016. And there were several times where my internal memory got full and I had to download everything to my computer and go back and forth again. This was so annoying. And now you're releasing an S21 series that in all the colors is only available in 128 gig. And if you want the 256 gigs of storage, you have to buy the Phantom Gray. So you're limited for which color you could get if you want the extra storage, because right now they're only making that in Phantom Gray. I assume they're going to roll that out at some point, but you have to pay extra to get 256. They had the S20 in variants up to 512 gigs with the SD card expansion. So if you want to save a little bit of money on the phone itself, you could put an SD card in later. And some people have up to 2 terabytes of data when it comes to putting videos and photos. And now you have 8K recording with 5G speeds on this phone, which are capable supposedly of downloading up to 1 gig per second. And you're going to limit people to 128 gigs or make them pay a lot more to get extra storage in their phone, because your videos and your photos are going to take a lot more storage than the previous models. So if you have that and you don't put the SD card expansion slot, I don't know, shame on Samsung. That's all I could say. The lower cost, even the entry level phones have that. I don't know why you would do that unless you are purposely trying to give people a reason to upgrade their phone. Because a lot of people are holding on to their older phones at this time. But by giving them that option, at least they're going to be more interested in buying it. But if I were you, I would skip this model entirely and wait for the next flagship series, because hopefully Samsung will come back to their senses and put the SD card expansion storage option in there. Or if you have an S20, that still might be more worth it to you because you could hold a lot more items on there versus getting the S21, because you're going to have to pay for additional cloud storage, or you're going to have to pay the big bucks to get the larger capacity phone. And if you run out of storage there, tough luck. So you have to download everything to your computer or external hard drive or cloud. So if you want to go through all that trouble, then it might be fine, but very few improvements on this model. I know they've been touting it to be a really great model, reason to upgrade, but I would consider a different 5G phone. I'm going to review a couple more before I make my decision, and I'll let you know which one I purchase instead of the S21. So if you're debating getting the S21, hopefully this video helps you. Thank you for watching. This is Andy Tech signing out. If you like these videos, please subscribe.
Check new tech.